This video is sponsored by NordVPN.
Use this URL with the code DHRME to get 68% off the 2-year plan and get 1 month entirely free. Okay, so that's the windy condition. Hey guys, welcome back to another mic quality test with some of the premium active noise cancelling headphones. So this time we've got the Sony WS1000 XM4, the XM3s, the PXC 552s, the Sennheiser Momentum 2s, the Surface headphones 2, and the Bose 700. So let's go.
And for those of you subscribed to the channel, you'll have noticed that we dropped a very similar video quite recently. But that was a comparison between the Sony XM4s, the XM3s, the Bose 700s, and the Microsoft Surface headphones too.
And the reason why we're doing this video is threefold actually. We have the Sennheiser PXC 550s and the Momentums in-house, so we thought we needed to include them. But second and most importantly, the first video we did a test with voice memos, and while that is fine, we really wanted to simulate a phone call because that's the most realistic use case people have. Not everybody's talking into voice memos. So we did a real phone call with me switching between the headphones across 3 different conditions. It was a lot of work. If you appreciate the effort we put in, do give a thumbs up. It really helps the video out. To be more consistent, we did over Wi-Fi and we used FaceTime audio. You know, Apple is the gold standard for phone calls. And the third reason was we wanted to really use consistent wind conditions on our head. So the headphones were constantly in wind this time and the wind was turned up a bit more so you could really see the differences. And of course, viewer feedback is very important for us. So one of you mentioned that maybe we should have used a longer phrase. So we did. It's not pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing this time. So let's jump straight into the test. But before you do, the conclusions are going to be up here in this timestamp. So if you want to just skip the test and go directly to the conclusions, feel free to do that. The conclusions are really interesting. So even if you do go through all the tests, make sure you stick around for the conclusions because you may discover something you didn't in the tests themselves. For now, here are the tests. Happy listening.
Yeah, go for it.
I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, I have 2 Indian friends, and a Czech 1-2, a Czech 1-2. This is the Sony WH1000 XM4s in quiet conditions. I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, I have 2 Indian friends, and a Czech 1-2, a Czech 1-2. This is the Sony WH1000 XM3 in quiet conditions. I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, I have 2 Indian friends, and a Czech 1-2, a Czech 1-2. Oh, this is the Microsoft Surface 2 in quiet conditions. I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, I have 2 Indian friends, and a Czech 1-2, a Czech 1-2. This is the Sennheiser PXC 552s in quiet conditions. So I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, I have 2 Indian friends, and a Czech 1-2, a Czech 1-2. This is the Sennheiser PXC 552s in quiet conditions. I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, I have 2 Indian friends, and a Czech 1-2, a Czech 1-2. This is the Sennheiser Momentum 3 in quiet conditions. I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, I have 2 Indian friends, and a Czech 1-2, a Czech 1-2. This is the Bose NC700s in quiet conditions. I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, I have 2 Indian friends, and a Czech 1-2, a Czech 1-2. This is the Sony WH1000 XM4 in windy conditions. I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, and I have 2 Indian friends, and a Czech 1-2, Czech 1-2. This is the Sony WH1000 XM3 in windy conditions. I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, I have 2 Indian friends, and a Czech 1-2, a Czech 1-2. This is the Microsoft Surface headphones 2 in windy conditions. I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, I have 2 Indian friends, and a Czech 1-2, a Czech 1-2. This is the Sennheiser PXC 552s in windy conditions with call enhancement turned on.
Yeah,
So I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, I have 2 Indian friends and a Czech one too. This is the Sennheiser PXC 552 in windy conditions without clear voice turned on. I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, I have 2 Indian friends and a Czech one too. This is the Sennheiser Momentum 3 in windy conditions. I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, I have 2 Indian friends and a Czech one too. This is the Bose noise cancelling 700 in windy conditions. I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, I have 2 Indian friends and a Czech one too. This is a Sony WH1000 XM4 in slightly noisy background conditions.
go.
I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, I have 2 Indian friends and a Czech one too. This is the Sony WH1000 XM3 with slightly noisy background conditions. I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, I have 2 Indian friends and a Czech one too. This is the Microsoft Surface Headphones 2 in slightly noisy background conditions. I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, I have 2 Indian friends and a Czech one too. This is the Sennheiser PXC 552s in slightly noisy background conditions with call enhancement turned on. I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, I have 2 Indian friends and a Czech one too. This is the Sennheiser PXC 550 in slightly noisy background conditions without clear voice turned on. I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, I have 2 Indian friends and a Czech one too. This is the Sennheiser Momentum 3 in slightly noisy background conditions. I have 4 American friends, I have 3 Dutch friends, I have 2 Indian friends and a Czech one too. This is the Bose NC700s with slightly noisy background conditions.
Now in quiet conditions, all of these headphones work, right? I think the real standout performers for me were the Surface because they were clear. The PXC with and without call announcement, I think they were crystal clear. Both were loud and clear, that is important. Although these headphones did sound a bit sibilant. I would say that the Bose was pretty good. Only reason I'm not saying Bose is excellent because it wasn't the loudest, but in terms of clarity, it was spot on. The XM3 was average and the XM4 was also average, but for different reasons. The XM4 was louder than the XM3, but it did seem that the XM3 was clearer than the XM4. Unfortunately, the Momentum 3 for me comes out at bottom. I can't say poor because you could kind of understand what's going on, but it wasn't the best for sure. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's what we have for the quiet conditions. Let's move on to the windy conditions. Hey guys, so we asked you this question in the community on YouTube before, and most of you guys are okay with us having a sponsor in the video. So we're very excited to announce our first ever sponsor on DHRME. Applause. And that sponsor is NordVPN, as you've heard in the beginning of this video. So we've been pretty picky about our first sponsor. We've even rejected plenty of sponsorships that's come our way. We also want to endorse products that we really believe in. And that's where NordVPN comes in. I personally have been paying for NordVPN for the past 1 year. So I know what I'm talking about. I use it across a host of devices, Mac, Android, iOS, and it works perfectly fine. You can always find a server if you need one. They have more than 5,300 servers in 59 countries. So I've never had a problem connecting to one of them. So if you want to save 68% off the 2-year subscription for NordVPN, hit that link in the description below and use our coupon code DHRME. Oh, and you get 1 month free as well. And you have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So in case you don't like it, you can always cancel your subscription. The link is in the description below. All right, windy conditions. The surprise candidate in the windy conditions for me was the Sony XM4. It performed average. It has been kind of average throughout, and in this very difficult specific condition it performed pretty well. So that's an average. The XM3 on the other hand is just hot garbage. It's not understandable, it's not clear, and I think I would put the Momentum in the same category. Maybe it's slightly better than the XM3, but these are not headphones you want to use in windy conditions, as we just checked. The Surface, I would have actually called it excellent. I wanted to really call it excellent till you hear the last check 1, 2, and those words are completely missing. So it does really good at background noise, but it does take away some of your voice at times. It cancels out your voice. That's not what you want in phone calls. It's important that every word you say is heard, or at least most of the times you're heard. So that was the reason I bumped it down to average. Had that not happened, it was a clear winner for us. The Bose 700 surprisingly didn't perform as well. I would put it in the same category as the XM4 for windy conditions. Go back and listen to it, they sound very similar. The PXC is interesting. We turned call enhancement on, and that did a really good job, I think, in making the voice a bit clearer. It's not at the surface level in terms of cutting out background noise, but you could understand what's going on, and that's what you really want in phone calls. The PXC 2 without call enhancement, I would even put it below average. It wasn't the best. So that's a conclusion for windy conditions. I think the PXC with call enhancement is on top. The Surface was really good at cancelling out background noise, but sometimes your words got cut out. And the Bose and the XM4 were all kind of in the same ballpark. And XM3 and Momentum 3, nope. All right, let's go to noisy conditions. So we simulated a cafe. To start with, I think the worst of the bunch, unfortunately again, was the Momentum 3. The volume was average, the clarity was below average. I would put the XM3 in the same bracket as well. What is interesting to see is that the Surface performed well with the volume again, but the clarity was a touch below the best. And the best in this case would be, I think, the PXC with or without call enhancement. And I think the Bose is even better than the PXC, but both are excellent because the volume is good and you can understand them. The reason I say the Bose is better is because the background noise was almost not there. So yeah, you can see why Bose is considered the best in the business at this. Have I missed anything? Yes, of course, I missed the XM4. I will have to say this is average just because of the whole voice clarity thing. They are doing something to boost the volume, they are doing some processing, and it really shows. So this is the overall rating for just calls in a slightly noisy condition with voices. And this is an important test, I think, more so than the others, because we always tend to take calls in slightly noisy conditions. Nowadays, I guess everyone's working at home, so quiet conditions are more prevalent, but I think it's an important test if you really want to use your headphones in an office environment or just in a public place. So what's the conclusion, guys? If you really want ANC headphones for phone calls, you cannot go wrong with the Bose or the Surface or the PXC 552s. These are really the top of the line for phone calls as far as we are concerned. I think the Bose is a bit more consistent in the most common conditions, that is a quiet and a background noisy environment like an office or a public space. The PXC is pretty good as well, and I think the Surface does equally well, but the PXC and the Surface are a bit shriller sounding than the Bose. So do with that information what you will. And you should not buy the Momentum 3s or the XM3s if you want to make phone calls. Just nope. So this video is about comparing these 6 premium active noise cancelling headphones for phone calls. This is not a review. Don't mistake this as the video you need to use to make your purchase decision unless it's only phone calls you're interested in. We do a lot of reviews on this channel. We do a lot of comparisons of these kind of headphones, and we go further than phone calls. Yeah, we go audio quality, noise cancelling, build quality, design, the extras, the apps, how it's actually performing. So we spend a lot of time testing these headphones. If you appreciate all the hard work we put into this testing and presenting the various comparisons, do give us a thumbs up. It will really help us out with the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. We drop a lot of videos very frequently on headphones and for some reason beards and hair. We promise to keep them entertaining. And you know what they say about hair? The best advice you can get about your hair is from someone who has really bad hair. No, that's not what they say. But thanks for watching.
You've been checking.
And we've been DHRME.